Hey, my name's Izzy. This is Rolling Virtual Cards coming at you with another Commander deck build. This time, Frodo, Adventurous, Hobbit, and Sam, Loyal Attendant. Partners, criminals at large, going up against the government, beating the crap out of people. No, that's not it. They're adventurers. They're here to stop the villain. Let's see what they do. Frodo, Adventurous Hobbit, is a white and a black for a 1/3 legendary creature halfling scout. Partners with Sam, Loyal Attendant, with has vigilance and the following effect. When Frodo, Adventurous Hobbit attacks, you gain, if you gained 3 or more life this turn, the ring tempts you. Okay? Then, if Frodo is your ring bearer, and the ring has tempted you 2 or more times this game, you draw a card. Sam, Loyal Attendant, is 1 green-white for a 2/3 legendary creature halfling peasant. Partners with Frodo, Adventurous Hobbit. Noted that if they are not actually in the game, you can search your library for it and add it to your hand. But at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a food token. Yeah, it's an artifact with pay 2, tap it, sacrifice it, gain 3 life. Activate abilities of food you control cost 1 less to activate, so it's going to be pay 1 instead of pay 2. So, let's go over, again, the ring. When the ring tempts you, you go from top to bottom, adding these abilities on. So the first time, the creature that the ring bearer you choose becomes legendary, and it can't be blocked by creatures of greater power. Since you will be choosing Frodo, it's a 1/3. It can only be blocked by 1/X's. Very good. And since it's a 1/3, very hard to kill it. 2, when it attacks, draw a card, then discard a card. So it's attempted you twice. You're now drawing a card and discarding a card attack. Again, the ring tempts you, and if it's tempted you 2 or more times this game, draw a card. So that second time it tempts you, you're now not only drawing a card off of the ring tempting you with Frodo's effect, but you're also on attack going to be drawing a card and discarding a card. And now this is when it attacks. So you choose. You can choose to either draw a card and discard a card, or draw a card and then draw a card and discard a card. Probably draw the card first off of Frodo's effect and then draw a card. So like attack. If you gain 3 or more life by sacrificing the food Sam makes, because at the beginning of combat you make the food. So the way this works is simple. You have them both on the field. Sam makes the food. You pay 1 to sacrifice the food. Frodo attacks. Since you gained 3 life off the food, the ring tempts you. Then since the ring tempts you 2 or more times, let's say, you draw a card off Frodo's effect, then you're going to draw a card off the ring and discard a card. This is going to give you more choice on what you want to discard. The third time it tempts you, whenever it becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacrifices it in a combat. So if they do choose to block it with like a 1/6, they're going to lose that 1/6. And lastly, when it deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 life. With Frodo, as a 1/3, you're going to be dealing 10 damage overall. 4 damage to one person and 3 damage to the other 2, which is very good. That's actual good damage going around. Sam never needs to attack in this regard, but this is a very fun food deck, okay? Weirdly enough, though, it's not really a food deck. Yes, you could really push this into food deck. So why would you want to play Frodo and Sam? So there's a few reasons. If you want to build a food deck that are in these colors, this is a pretty decent one. I think there's a better pairing with Merry and Pippin for food deck, but nonetheless, I like this pairing because Frodo gives you a very nice card draw advantage, especially with the ring. You're going to be drawing 2 and discarding 1 each turn, which is very useful. Sam gives you a very nice accidental life gain. Every single turn you're going to be gaining 3 life. That's great. That's just like gaining life. It's that like Alaro, I think that's his name, the Esper guy that gains you 2 life each turn. It's like him. 3 life each turn is nothing to scoff at. You're just gonna, oh, yeah, he gained 3 life. Oh, yeah, he gained 3 life. Yeah, oh, yeah, he gained 3 life, right? Like, you're slowly gaining life every turn, and that's just gonna be kind of annoying. You could focus on food, but I'm focusing on this more as an engine to draw cards, maybe deal a little extra damage over time with the final ring ability, and just slowly build this nice idea. Frodo also has vigilance, so as a 1/3 he can block some stuff. And as a 2/4 Sam, who's not normally attacking, can also block some stuff. So You got some usefulness. Let's get into the card by card here. First off, we've got the only ETB in this deck, Eternal Witness. It's a great recursion card. We'll get to why it's. We'll get to more about it when it comes to recursion. Ramp, 22 cards. You need some ramp because you want to get these guys out fast. Lotus Petal is a 0-drop. This is going to help you get Frodo out turn 1. Arbor Elf. I don't love Arbor Elf in 3 or more colored decks, but it's okay here to be able to untap a forest. Avengers Pilgrim taps for a white. Birds is going to tap for any color. Culling of the Weak. You can sacrifice one of your multiple creatures to add 4 black. You'll see why you want that later on. This is a bit more of a high-powered deck. Culling of the Weak is going to help you kind of get into your combo base. Dark Ritual is going to help you get stuff out faster. Not necessarily Frodo or Sam on turn 1 or anything, because it's 3 black and Frodo costs 2 different things. So, but it can help you get to the other stuff to help you get them out. Elves' Deep Shadows, a green for a black, so helps your mana fix. Elvish Mystic, Fainthorn Elves, and Llanowar Elves all taps for a green, which is fine. It helps you get Sam out easier. Rain of Filth allows you to sacrifice a land, add a black. This is going to help you get your combo piece. Again, you're using your commander as a way to stay alive. Your commanders as a way to stay alive and draw cards. Soul Ring is a great ramp. Spring Reed Drum, you can tap Sam for all I care to draw some cards, or to ramp. Utopia Sprawl and Wild Growth, both attached to lands and gives you mana. Arcane Signet, ramp, same with Fellower Stone. Cabal Ritual adds 3, but if you have Threshold, you add 5 instead. And Threshold is if you have 7 or more cards in your deck. And since you're drawing and discarding off of the ring, that's not going to be hard. Elvish Spirit Guide, you just exile it from your hand to add a green. This can actually help you get Sam out pretty early on turn 1. If you have like a Lotus Petal, Elvish Guide, and a white mana, you can get him out turn 1, which is pretty cool. Culling Ritual, great way to just totally push. It will kill Frodo, but that's okay, because if you're going to call, you're probably going to win the game here. Grim Hireling, since you are attacking with Frodo, you're going to be able to deal damage. It's going to be hard to block. You're going to be able to hit someone probably, because he's the ring. If you attack someone with all their creatures are 2 or more power, they won't be able to block him, and you'll get some treasures. 2 treasures whenever you deal damage to the player, and then you can also sack those treasures to kill stuff. And Seedborn Muse is great because it allows you to untap all permanents you control, which can be fun, just to give you a bit more interaction and control pieces, or help you control the field. Recursion, Noxious Revival, you can pay a green or 2 life to return a card from your grave on top of your library. This allows you to grab something and retry next turn. Reanimate allows you to grab a creature in your graveyard to win the game. You'll see what that is for. An Eternal Witness, it enters the battlefield. You may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. No, none of them had that. Okay. Next, you got all your lands. We're running 32 lands. A lot of good lands. I'm not, again, this is high power. This is not CDH. Difference is budget, usually for me. This is only like a $700 deck. It's not a $4,000 deck because I'm not running all the big expensive fetch lands and stuff. Oh no, sorry, I'm running fetch lands. I'm not running like stuff over $100. This is usually what I do for high power. Like, you can start the high power, like you started off with a casual deck and you slowly built it up over time usually. Combo, here's the combo. Protean Hulk, yes, it's a Protean Hulk deck. You need another way to sacrifice Hulk. That's okay, you can find ways to do that. But when it dies, you get to search your library for any number of creature cards with total converted mana cost 6 or less and put them on the battlefield. You just Samwise, Cauldron, either Vincer or Carrion. Either one works. The point is, when another non-token creature enters the battlefield, you make a food token. Cauldron Familiar. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses life, you gain life. Sacrifice a food, return Cauldron Familiar from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, when another non-token enters the battlefield, you make a food. So Cauldron enters the battlefield, see Sam. Cauldron, each opponent loses life, you gain a life. Sam goes, oh look, make a food. You then sacrifice Cauldron to Vincer or Carrion Feeder. You put Cauldron in your graveyard. You then sacrifice the food that Sam made to get Cauldron. You make a food, you sack it to Carrion or Vincer. Rinse, repeat, kill your opponents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can grab another 1-drop if you want some more. The reason why you grab both Vincer and Carrion if you can is because then they have to pop both in order to stop you. I mean, technically they could pop Sam to stop you. So there's a lot of ways to stop it, but this is just the easiest. You only need 3 cards. They're really cheap. Very simple combo. If you don't win this way, you're just going to win by beating face with Frodo and slowly draining them all with the 4th effect of the ring. Draw power. Not a lot here. You might be questioning, why don't we have a lot of draw power? And it's because Frodo draws your cards, and the ring effect draws your cards, so you're usually good there. But Archivist and Ogmoth is going to draw you a card whenever an opponent searches the library. I do have him stacked, okay. Sylvan Library is going to allow you to draw 2 additional cards at the beginning of your upkeep. You choose to keep 1 of them, you lose no life. You choose to keep 2 of them, you lose 4. If you choose to keep all 3, you lose 8. Timna the Weaver, since you are swinging and drawing cards and attacking and hard to block, you're going to be able to draw cards off of the Timna. Adnaz is just great. You're just going to Adnaz and try to find your stuff. Adnaz is not the best when you're running something like Parent of the Abyss and Protean Hulk, but you can get away with it. I also like Parent of the Abyss because we have ways to make a lot of mana, and Parent of the Abyss just draws you half your library, and you lose half your life, and you usually win off of that. Although, to be fair, maybe they're not the best cards in a deck that's running Protean Hulk and searches for them, but like they're cheap, so if you draw into them, you could cast for cheaper than what it costs to cast Hulk. Interaction 8. Nature, swords. I'm not running the other one. We'll see why in a bit. But Nature's pops an artifact or enchantment. Swords pops a creature. Abrupt Decay pops something with a mana value 3 or less. Non-land. But it can't be countered as Astropy. Hits anything and then they go search for a basic land. Skyclave Apparition pops anything that's 4 or less. And then whenever it leaves the battlefield, each owner gets an XX blue illusion creature token where X is the converted mana cost. You can also attack for Timna and stuff. It's not a bad card for removal. Hard to counter too because it's a creature. Toxic is a good board wipe. Deadly Rollick is free and can exile a creature if you have your commander. And Grim Hireling, you sacrifice those treasures you're making off of it to pop stuff. Protection to stop your opponents from stopping you. Autumn's Veil and Veil of Summer are basically the same thing. Veil itself is just a better version. Silence stops your opponent from casting stuff, so this can stop your opponents from winning or allow you to win. Sylvan Safekeeper allows you to keep your commanders alive by sacrificing lands, and Grand Abolisher makes it so your opponent just can't cast spells on your turn. These are both sack outlets. Obviously, they're part of a combo, but they can be used to sacrifice other creatures. Stack species, because we're trying to slow the game down. Deafening Silence means you can only cast 1 spell each turn, 1 non-creature spell each turn, each player. We went over Alchemist. Collector Oof makes it so that artifacts can't be activated, which does stop your food, but that's okay. Because, like, if you're playing Collector Oof, you're using it to stop opponents that are, like, pushing harder. Stacks is all about running stuff that hurts your deck, but also your opponents more. So, like, if you draw into it, but you have your engine going, you just don't play it. You just drew into a dead card. Sorry, it happens. Maybe discard if you really don't need it. Dauthi Voidwalker makes it so that you can play cards your opponents in your opponent's graveyard, because it exiles them all. Drannith makes it so that opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hand, stopping them from playing their commander. Eighth Stroke Canonist means you can only cast 1 non-artifact spell a turn. Archaeon of Ameria means you can only cast 1 spell each turn, and non-basic lands your opponents control after the battle for tap. Avian Mind Sensor makes it so that if an opponent searches the library, they have to search only the top 4. Eidolon of Rhetoric means each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. An opposition agent means if an opponent were to tutor, you tutor for them instead and get the card. With these rule of law effects, one of the things you should probably be doing is running more instances. You can retweak this deck if you see cards. You just go, why is that there? But tutors is fun. I'm trying to go fast. Enlightened Tutor is great. Go grab an artifact or enchantment. Entomb drops something in the graveyard, which is fine because you can put like Sam in the you can put the cat in the graveyard and then grab it once Sam hits the field and makes the food. Green Sun Zenith is great because it grabs a green creature and puts it on the battlefield. Then you get a shuffle. Worldly Tutor goes and grabs is a tutor for a creature. Puts it on top. Diabolic Intent, you sack a creature and then you can grab any card. Eladolum's car grabs a creature and puts it into your hand. Wishclaw grabs anything and puts it in your hand, and then you give Wishclaw to someone else. It's a monkey paw effect. Chord of Calling allows you to convoke, but grab a creature onto the battlefield. A Greenstone puts it on the battlefield too. Eldritch Evolution allows you to sack something like your Sam to go grab something, or your Frodo to go grab a 5-drop. No, your Sam, which is a 5, which still doesn't get to Protean Hulk, but it's okay. You can grab something different. Birthing Pod allows you to get to other stuff slowly, and then eventually get to Hulk. And Hulk is technically a tutor for your win con. And your 2 wipes, Toxic and Calling. There's a lot of stuff here. Maybe I should be running a 6-drop so I can actually Birthing Pod to there. Maybe I should be running a 4-drop so I can actually Birthing Pod. Oh, I am running a 4-drop in Grim. And I got a 5 in Seed, but I don't have the 6. So, it's not the best built deck. None of my decks are best as the series goes on. Because I made these decks probably almost when they first came out. When Lord of the Rings first came out, I started building these decks. So my decks are going to slowly get better. Maybe I'll edit some of my decks to make them a little more intuitive. But like I always say, and maybe this is copping out, but my decks are a starting point. They're meant to be, hey, start here and build off it. Look at this deck, see this Frodo and Sam, go, hey, this is cool. I don't like this. I think it's missing this. Let's build off that. And that's kind of the point. I want people to build off my decks. I don't want you to just go and look at my decks and go, oh, let me build this. An example of this is similar to this is oh, I forget the guy's name. He's got the golden pig. I steal that concept, the best card in the deck sometimes when I run into it. I don't remember his name. I know I'm subscribed to him. Give me a second. I'm actually curious right now. What's his name? He puts a video out almost every day. Here we go. The Commander's Quarters. Right. Yes. He is very similar to mine. He builds budget. I don't know. This isn't a budget deck. It's $694.56. But his decks are budget. And you can start off with that budget, but then if you have cards in your bulk that are more expensive, you can put them there. That's the concept here. You can look at this and go, oh, I've got Frodo and Sam. Let me see what cards I have here. Oh, I don't have all these cards, but I have the bases, and I see what you're going for. You're using Sam and Frodo for card advantage and accident life games, so you can keep alive if your opponents are attacking you. They're decent blockers for smaller creatures if they're going wide. Like if I'm playing against a Timna, Sam and Frodo can both block them in a higher power setting. But like, oh, you're missing this because not everyone's perfect at building decks. So I'll add this, and I don't really like that card, so I'm going to put this card in there, and I don't own that card. I'm nowhere am I buying it. So I'm going to put this card here. You can build off of it. And that's the idea. Build off the deck, see what you can find, tweak it, make it yours. Don't just copy and paste, guys. It's not fun to copy and paste. The fun part, one of the biggest parts, half of Commander or Magic in general, is building your deck. So when you copy and paste, you're losing your stamp. Even if that means you put a pet card in your deck that's not as good as another card, do it. It's fun. It makes it your deck. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.